Hello, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Welcome to the Digital Marketing Podcast and video series, where we talk about digital marketing strategies and tactics to help grow your business. Today, I'm going to talk about a digital audio power play and how to turn up the volume and amplify your reach with Pandora. I mean, there's no secret that Americans and really the global market, Pandora is the number one streaming audio platform. And, their genome project to, basically create these playlists that are your favorite music based on, your behavior of liking, thumbs up, thumbs down, adding different things. I mean, they have really become the go-to for a global market, but definitely in the United States. We know that for sure. I was actually on a call earlier today with my Pandora contact, and we were just kind of talking about and brainstorming, how could you really turn up the volume and amplify your reach for your digital audio marketing campaigns? And he had some really good insight, and I thought I would share our conversation and kind of the big points. So we're going to talk about these and kind of dig into, why is it a power play and how can you leverage this platform? I mean, think about it. So the way I start my day is I come in, I sit down, I log into, my desktop computer console here, and the first thing I do is turn and say, Pandora, play 07. Actually, rephrase that, start over, rewind. Alexa, play 07 on Pandora. Boom, right? And so that's how I start my day is, I fire up my Alexa device and I get her started on playing what I want to hear for the day. Alexa, stop. So, the information that Pandora has is that on average, the average logged in user on their platform, and I think it's an important thing to say when we use the word logged on user, that opens up a whole new ball game of behavior tracking, monitoring, artificial intelligence, computing data. Is you have a unique login, which means as you are accessing the information, in this case, audio files, when you set up your profile, you put in various elements like where you are because your IP address and your name and your age and your email address. So you're now connecting these very specific demographics with geographics and then your own behavior and what you're doing when you're listening to specific kinds of music. So this is the power of a logged in user is really the key to data-driven targeting. And when you combine that with demographic and geographic, that's really the power play, is leveraging those two sort of, combined components of who you want to reach and what you want to say is making sure that you've got the right platform that has the ability to do that. Now, as I said, Pandora says that the average user per month listens to about 15.9 hours of music. I got to tell you, me personally, it's more than that. I know for sure I listen to at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half per day while I'm in the office and I'm working in the background. So that's, 20 days. So, 20 times an hour and a half, I'm way over the 15.9. So I think that number is conservative. Now I get, you have some people that, maybe only listen on the weekends or, what have you, but 15.6 hours per month is a lot. Interesting enough, for those Spotify users who prefer Spotify is 13.6. hours per month, followed by YouTube at 11.6 and Facebook also at 11.6 hours per month in platform visibility and active engagement. So the fact that Sirius XM or Sirius XM Holdings purchased Pandora last year for a cool, I don't know what the number was, it was like just some number under 100 billion. I was say it was like 75. Nevertheless, they were getting a hold of and bringing into the fold the 65 million subscribers who are on Pandora, which I think is a really smart play by Sirius XM, because what they wanted to do is, I think they were losing a lot of people to subscribe to their platform on Sirius XM, because they were like, for me, I've got Bluetooth. I can just Bluetooth, Pandora in my car, and I don't need Sirius XM. Now, granted, Pandora doesn't have all of the, sports talk radio that I listen to, and all of the streaming services. But to be able to combine the Pandora into your vehicle without having to switch your devices or, change that source, really makes a big difference last year. So not only did you, as a marketer and as a brand, if you're trying to maximize and amplify your reach and really turn up the volume on your digital audio campaigns for 2020, know that there's something that's different in 2020 than it was in 2019, and that is the acquisition of Pandora by SiriusXM. Now, don't forget, SiriusXM also owns SoundCloud. So the partnership and the data between these three platforms really is an incredible power play when it comes to digital audio and consumption. So think about this too. When you're putting together your ad creative for Pandora, the thing that I think you need to remember, or if you're considering Pandora or digital audio as a strategy, keep this in mind. The reach is going to be extremely targeted, but you basically have unskippable ads, right? So that the end user is going to hear the message. And don't forget this, that audio actually does have a screen, because when we pull up Pandora on our device, there's that screen that shows the name of the title, there's the thumbnail of the graphic for the album cover. And now when digital ads are being served, audio ads are being served, there is a digital thumbnail. Now, and again, Pandora got really smart because their advertisers were demanding to be able to have, attribution for these ads that they were running. And so you can literally click on that on the screen and go to a landing page. So now you've connected, audio marketing strategies and tactics with digital marketing strategies and tactics, with landing pages, with retargeting. I mean, all of this really, comes full circle. So, this is what I thought was an interesting conversation that I had this morning with Pandora. And I think the other thing that brands, especially if you have a multicultural emphasis in your, target audience, if you've got a multicultural, whether you've got, Hispanics, African American, Native Indian, whatever the cultural diversity is, if that's part of your audience mixture, then there is nothing more powerful than being able to segment and make sure that your content placement goes specifically into those very, very granular segmented music genres that are going to be highly tuned into and listened to by those specific users. So I think that is a really, really smart play and another way to turn up the volume and amplify your reach with Pandora. Another thing that a lot of people aren't familiar with or are not aware of is that Pandora also partnered with another partner that allows them to tap into local radio, and I'll use the word of my good friend in Pandora, terrestrial radio, meaning, you know, the traditional local radio that you think of. But many of these radio stations have come out with digital audio on their website where you can listen to the streaming version of their radio. Now, again, obviously iHeartRadio and Cumulus and, you know, some of the other brands that are out there made the shift to digital audio for their own stations. And they've got lots of, you know, channels, if you will, that are out there that you can stream on the internet. So what Pandora has done is they have partnered with these local companies, and there's now this inventory that's available in digital streaming of terrestrial local radio. Now, again, you can have your ad on Pandora and in its, you know, local market area, but only in the digital streaming. So it's not like you're going to put an ad on, you know, Pandora and then have it, you know, be heard as someone's driving down the road through their car radio. Like, that's all we're talking about. What we're talking about here is digital ads running on Pandora that when that user is, you know, if they're plugged into, you know, the internet, and they're streaming audio for, you know, that radio station, then that ad inventory, that's how it would be accessed. That's how it would be heard. Now, again, this is, you know, you're not gonna, you know, try to divert a large amount of your, you know, sort of purchase or your play to this, because you don't have to. You know, you don't have to rely on that local media outlet, because the end user has determined what the outlet is, and the main outlet is Pandora, right? Because then they don't have to listen to, you know, freaking Nickelback or whatever it is, even if they like adult rock, you know, they can make sure that that does not come on in their channel because of the genome sort of foundation of Pandora and how it works is you can be like, no, I do not want to hear songs by this artist. So I think that's important is to remember that there is a local element if you need or if you want some connection to that local radio digital streaming source. The other thing that I think that is very interesting as well is that, again, don't ignore the display screen for, you know, that Pandora display screen. So as Pandora is playing, like I said, it's got the name of the song and the minutes and thumbs up and thumbs down and the thumbnail that's there for you to look at the album cover. But when the ad comes on, there is a digital interactive, you know, they can literally click on and go to. And so you've got a call to action. You've got something that you can have trackable insights, send them to a landing page or, you know, whatever, you know, you decide to kind of take them to. But that's important. And that can be part of, you know, syncing up your digital marketing efforts with your digital audio campaign. Now, here's the question I think that everyone wants to know is how much does it cost to, you know, have an ad campaign on Pandora? Well, obviously, with one of the most powerful platforms on the planet, you know, you're not going to be able to put together a $500 a month plan and really be able to access, because their reach and, you know, the amount of people who are interested in running ads on Pandora, you know, they don't have to do $500. You know, so there is a minimum spend there. And I can tell you this, you know, it's cheaper to reach the entire state of Florida and all the users on Pandora in the state of Florida. It's cheaper to do that per month than it would be to place 1 month of a, you know, drive time terrestrial radio package. That should blow your mind. it should absolutely blow your mind that you could reach the entire state of Florida versus reaching, let's say, we're based here in Tallahassee and we've got, just a little under 200,000 people here in this town. And, we've got whatever, half a dozen terrestrial radio stations. It's cheaper to go to Pandora and reach the entire state of Florida than it is for me to purchase a radio flight per month on a local radio station in a popular drive time, slot to run ads, every day per month. It's cheaper to go on Pandora. It's just crazy. And why brands don't understand, that mentality is quite frankly, because again, we go back to, the status quo and the comfort of, well, we've always run radio ads and that's how we've grown our business for the last 4 decades. Guys, people are connecting with Bluetooth. XM satellite now has Pandora. Like, there are so many factors that are now really pushing out a lot of these, tried and true methodologies that, businesses who have been in business for 30, 40, 50 years, the way you got there is not the way you're going to stay on top. So you've got to really think about how can you turn up the volume, amplify your reach with platforms like Pandora or Spotify, and then leverage that together with your digital marketing efforts. So again, guys, I hope you found this insightful. I really enjoyed speaking with my contact at Pandora today and really kind of thinking about, how has audio really changed and, really the shift in passive content consumption. We as a society are, consumed with really maximizing our time. We want to be able to consume content while doing things with our hands, whether we are, building or assembling or cleaning the kitchen or driving down the road, hands-free consumption of content, and then being able to keep our eyes on the road, but listen to and absorb and consume content in that way is so important. Now, the one thing too that I wanted to mention, which I think is important, I almost skipped this, I'm glad I remembered. One of the things we talked about was, our strategy in what we started doing probably about 18 months ago or roughly 24 months ago was really taking that contextual creative approach, meaning, okay, let's look at who are the people that we want to reach. What are the very specific interest points that they have? So, you've got, okay, I want to reach these people in Florida, and I want to reach, of those people in Florida, I want to reach people who have interest in A, B, C, D, E, and F, right? So they've got 8 different sort of value points that I want to reach. With Pandora, you do have the ability to have multiple pieces of creative rotating through the flight, if you will, of your advertising so that you can, you don't want to be the white noise even on the digital audio, right? You want to have contextual audio so that when that user hears that ad, it's contextual to them, right? You're not interrupting their media consumption. You're providing relevant contextual messaging that will resonate with them with the right tone and addressing the right concern, and speaking to the value points that are important to them. That's what is critically important. And that's why I go back to the power of a logged in user and how you can leverage that information and data to be able to make sure to have absolute certainty that your ad is going to reach the right person in the right place. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Michael Wynn. I'm the Chief Digital Officer at Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Tune in next time, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks. Bye.